Emma Caldwell, a 27-year-old resident of Glasgow, graced the streets of this vibrant city with her presence. Her captivating beauty and infectious spirit were a beacon of light amidst the bustling chaos. However, fate had a sinister plan in store for this young woman. On that fateful day, April 4th, 2005, the watchful eyes of CCTV captured her essence for the last time. Days turned into an agonizing eternity as her family anxiously awaited any word from their beloved Emma. It was on April 5th, when the weight of her absence became unbearable, that her family reported her missing to the authorities. The police, recognizing the urgency of the situation, embarked on a relentless search to retrace Emma's steps. Their hearts were filled with hope, yearning to find her safe and sound. Little did they know, the path they were about to tread would lead them to the darkest depths of despair. 5 weeks later, on that somber day of May 5th, 2005, Emma was discovered. The desolate woods became the haunting stage for this tragic finale. There, in the solitude of nature's embrace, lay Emma's lifeless body, stripped of all clothing, vulnerable to the elements that had mercilessly claimed her. The sight was a dagger to the soul, a heart-wrenching tableau that no one should ever witness. The grim reality was devastating, for her body bore the cruel marks of an unforgiving fate. She was not merely found, she was strangled, her once vibrant eyes now forever closed, her once lively body now a haunting shade of blue. Emma Caldwell, a name that will forever be etched in the annals of Glasgow's history. Who was she, and what sequence of events led to her gruesome fate? Join us on this harrowing journey as we unravel the key evidence in this perplexing puzzle. In the heart of Glasgow, a city that has seen its fair share of darkness, Emma's story stands as a testament to the resilience of its people. Despite the city's reputation for crime, its inhabitants remain steadfast, united in their support for one another. Emma's absence left a void that perhaps holds the answers to the enigma that surrounds her. In the depths of South Lanarkshire, in the quaint village of Roberton, a glimmer of hope emerges. It is there that we may find the missing pieces to reconstruct Emma's tragic tale. The tale of Emma Caldwell, discovered in the woods, reverberates throughout the land, serving as a poignant reminder of the enigmatic nature that can sometimes permeate even the most captivating corners of Scotland. Emma Caldwell, born on September 2nd, 1977, in Scotland, was raised by her devoted parents, Margaret and William Caldwell. Throughout her childhood, Emma enjoyed typical pastimes, but it was horse riding that truly ignited her passion, bringing her immense tranquility and happiness. However, tragedy befell her family, forever altering the course of her life. At the age of 20, Emma experienced the devastating loss of her sister, Karen Caldwell, an event that profoundly impacted her. As grief cast its shadow over her existence, Emma's world began to shift dramatically. In her search for solace, she found herself grappling with overwhelming emotions, battling a pain that seemed insurmountable. Within the sanctuary of the stables where she worked, Emma stumbled upon heroin, a tempting promise to numb the ache in her heart. Thus began a harrowing journey, overshadowed by the relentless grip of addiction. Despite her parents' earnest efforts to extend a helping hand, Emma found herself ensnared by the clutches of heroin. During this time, she resided in a hostel for 2 years, which became the focal point of her life, dictating her choices and leading her down an unforeseen path. To sustain her habit, Emma turned to the streets of Glasgow, engaging in sex work to meet the insatiable demands of her addiction. Despite these arduous struggles, she remained connected to her family, seeking solace in their embrace and frequently visiting them. Within her mother, Margaret's unwavering presence, Emma found solace and stability amidst the chaos that consumed her life. Margaret provided care, performed simple tasks like laundry, and created a semblance of normalcy for her daughter. Those who intimately knew Emma described her as trusting and somewhat naive, her vulnerability seemingly drawing her towards companionship with others fighting similar battles. Emma formed strong connections with friends who had experienced similar struggles with addiction and hardship in their lives. Unfortunately, her story took a tragic turn on the fateful night of April 5th, 2005. Emma was last seen between 12:30 a.m. and 1:30 a.m. that day on London Road, Glasgow, as captured by CCTV cameras. She left her hostel and headed towards Glasgow's red light district, but she never returned. Her sudden disappearance left her family desperate, and they tirelessly searched for her night after night, hoping for her safe return. 5 days later, on April 10th, 2005, her family reported her missing, intensifying the efforts to find her. Sadly, after 5 weeks, Emma's lifeless body was discovered in the woods at Roberton, South Lanarkshire, on May 8th, 2005. She had been stripped naked and choked to death. The site where her body was found was filled with unrelated items, painting a grim picture of the prevalent sexual activity in the area. The investigation into Emma Caldwell's tragic death was a complex and determined pursuit that spanned several years. A dedicated team from Police Scotland, working closely with the Scottish Police Authority and the Crown Office, led the investigation under the guidance of a senior investigating officer, detective superintendent. They meticulously gathered information and left no stone unturned in their quest for answers. Initially, their focus was on retracing Emma's steps. They carefully reviewed CCTV footage, interviewed witnesses, and traced her digital footprint. Through this process, they were able to determine her last known movements, which occurred between 12:30 a.m. and 1:30 a.m. on April 5th, 2005, on London Road, Glasgow. This information helped them establish a timeline of events. The police also shared an image of a jacket similar to the one Emma was wearing in the CCTV footage. The missing dark brown suede jacket with an imitation fur collar and cuffs, along with the dark-colored handbag, still eludes discovery. As they combed through the scenes, they unearthed a plethora of clues, each shedding light on a different aspect of the truth. The uncovering of women's clothing and torn magazines strewn across the woods where Emma's body was found prompted a thorough investigation. While these items were not directly linked to Emma, they added to the enigmatic tapestry. Delving into Emma Caldwell's client list, they stumbled upon a diverse array of individuals, ranging from bankers to students, priests, and even a police officer. One particular client emerged as the last person to have contact with Emma on the fateful night she vanished. Tracing her final phone signal to a Turkish cafe, the police swiftly descended upon the establishment upon discovering traces of Emma's blood on the bedding. The origins of the blood remained ambiguous, hinting at potential violence or illicit activities within the cafe. The investigation took a dark turn as harrowing tales from other Glasgow workers surfaced, painting a chilling portrait of the perils these women endured. Accounts of leaving hair in clients' cars for safety, dropping subtle hints out of fear of attacks, and horrifying encounters at the Turkish cafe came to light. Despite covert surveillance for 2 years and thousands of conversations recorded, the men at the cafe remained tight-lipped about Emma's murder. While arrests were made, the case crumbled due to insufficient evidence, marking a glaring setback in the inquiry. In the pursuit of unraveling the enigma surrounding Emma Caldwell's tragic demise, the diligent investigators meticulously scrutinized various individuals. Amongst them, a man of 32 winters named Ian Packer, possessing an equally rugged demeanor, captivated their attention. Packer's significance arose from his deep-rooted connections within the community and his previous affiliations. His extensive network encompassed frequent encounters with individuals entrenched in Glasgow's notorious red light district, including both workers and other denizens associated with the area. Witnesses provided bone-chilling accounts, and those who bore witness to peculiar occurrences spun tales that seemed to intertwine him with locations reminiscent of where Emma's lifeless body was discovered. Packer's recurrent interactions with the authorities, coupled with his disconcerting past, aroused suspicion. The investigation into the untimely demise of Emma Caldwell encountered numerous obstacles, concealing the true veracity of the matter. As detectives delved deeper into Emma Caldwell's case, 5 individuals found themselves under the piercing gaze of suspicion. Amongst them, the most prominent figure was none other than Ian Packer. Packer, a frequent patron of Emma's services, emerged as a central figure due to his incessant interactions with her. A multitude of sex workers expressed their unease regarding his recurring presence alongside Emma, deeming him a dubious character. Their vivid recollections recounted instances of coercion, explosive fits of rage, and aggressive behavior, often transpiring in secluded woodland areas akin to the location where Emma's lifeless form was discovered. Apart from Packer, the investigative spotlight also illuminated 4 other men: Hussein Kobanoglu, now 63, hailing from Irvine; Halil Kandil, a 42-years-old man from Qatar; Abubakir Onku, 39, from Springboag; and Mustafa Soylemez, who is 44 years old. Initially charged with Emma's murder in 2007, their names were thrust into the realm of suspicion. However, within a year, the case crumbled under the weight of police and prosecution errors, plunging the investigation into disarray. Packer, cunningly evading charges, precipitated a costly £4 million endeavor christened Operation Guard. Translated transcripts were fiercely disputed, and surveillance recordings failed to provide unequivocal evidence, leaving the truth shrouded in darkness. In 2015, a reinvestigation was initiated, uncovering the unauthorized seizure of phone data from whistleblowers. Unfortunately, only one conviction was obtained through a retrial, which is a disheartening outcome considering the 7 murders that were investigated. Ian Packer, born in 1973, emerged as a significant suspect during the reinvestigation due to his frequent interactions with Emma Caldwell. Troublingly, workers reported that Packer had a habit of taking them to secluded wooded areas similar to where Emma's body was discovered. He now faces accusations of 45 other offenses, including 11 counts of alleged abduction, indecent assault, and sexual assault involving multiple women. These charges also involve 3 men and 1 boy, who are listed as victims of alleged assaults. Additionally, Packer is accused of engaging in lewd or inappropriate behavior. Witness testimonies have painted a disturbing picture, describing instances of coercion, angry outbursts, and aggressive behavior that align with Packer's known conduct. One specific incident, involving accusations of inappropriate behavior behind billboards, has added a sinister layer to the suspicion surrounding him. As the investigation progressed, Packer shifted from denying any involvement to admitting to multiple interactions with Emma during an interview with a journalist. Despite acknowledging his presence in the woods on several occasions, he vehemently denies any connection to her tragic death. However, his troubled past, which includes a history of violence against women and a conviction for throttling his ex-partner, has raised alarming concerns. Now, 51 years old in 2024, Ian Packer is facing serious charges. Beyond his association with Emma's case, Packer is confronted with a range of serious charges that span over a significant 26-year period, indicating a disturbing pattern of behavior that extends far beyond the tragedy surrounding Emma's death. Furthermore, Packer's involvement in assaulting his former girlfriend in Clarkston Airdrie between November 1st and November 30th, 2018, led to his arrest in November. The occurrences encompass Packer forcefully propelling her onto a sumptuous bed and constricting her airway, leading to his subsequent pronouncement of guilt. Ian Packer, the perpetrator, was handed a 2-year custodial sentence and a 5-year restraining order for his abhorrent assault on his former companion. In addition to these charges, he was implicated in the murder of Emma Caldwell, alongside a staggering tally of 45 other transgressions. Packer adamantly pleaded his innocence against all accusations, and an extensive 11-week trial has been meticulously scheduled to commence this year. These unfolding events serve to further entangle the intricate web of Packer's character, shedding light on a sordid past marred by a series of criminal misdeeds, which may potentially intertwine with the ongoing investigation into the untimely demise of Emma Caldwell. The rural Oklahoma community was left in shock by the tragic events that unfolded in 1999. Kathy and Danny Freeman were brutally killed, and their 16-year-old daughter Ashley, along with her friend Loria Bible, mysteriously disappeared. It all started on Ashley's 16th birthday, when she celebrated with her loved ones at their mobile home in Veneta, Oklahoma. However, the night took a dark turn when Jeremy Hurst, Ashley's boyfriend, left around 9:30 p.m. The following morning, firefighters were called to the Freeman's home and discovered a horrifying scene. The house had been engulfed in flames, and the bodies of Danny and Kathy were found inside. They had both been shot in the head before the fire was intentionally set. However, Ashley and Loria were nowhere to be found, and their whereabouts remain unknown even after decades. During the investigation, an important clue was uncovered on the property. Loria's purse was discovered containing her driver's license and $200. This suggested that the girls may have been abducted, ruling out robbery as a motive since the money was left untouched. Despite the lack of suspects, a revelation made by Danny months before his death added another layer to the mystery. He had confided in his brother Dwayne that if anything were to happen to him, he should investigate the Craig County Sheriff's Department. The alleged feud between the Freemans and the Sheriff's Department stemmed from a tragic incident involving Danny's son, Shane. Shane had stolen a truck and a neighbor's gun, leading to his fatal shooting by a deputy. Although the shooting was deemed justifiable, Danny had intended to file a wrongful death lawsuit against the department shortly before the devastating fire. As a result, the sheriff's deputies voluntarily stepped aside from the investigation, handing it over to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. They fully cooperated and even underwent polygraph tests, ultimately clearing the sheriff's office of any involvement. Another theory that emerged speculated that Danny may have been involved in small-scale drug trafficking. An informant has reported that he had encountered two unidentified individuals a fortnight prior to the tragic murders. It appears that one of them was not welcomed in that particular setting. However, this theory does not align well with the disappearance of the girls. It seems improbable that the perpetrators would abduct them instead of simply killing them on the spot. Some speculate that Ashley may have killed her parents due to tension between her and Danny, but authorities believe that the girls could not have remained hidden for long if this theory were true. Loria's family also firmly believes that neither girl would be capable of committing murder. Several individuals have claimed to have witnessed evidence suggesting that the girls were alive 2 days after the fire at a New Year's Eve gathering in a meth-infested area of neighboring Ottawa County. Former meth cook Randall Cowboy Madewell informed Foxtel TV that he had heard it was a drug deal gone wrong, resulting in the death of the parents and the abduction of the girls. Allegedly, the girls were drugged with meth, restrained, and subjected to repeated assaults. The party may have taken place at the residence of well-known local meth cook Chester Shadwick in Wyandotte, approximately 50 kilometers east of Welch. Another potential location was the dilapidated home of meth dealers and cooks, father and son, Paul Glover Sr. and Jr., situated along the Neosho River. Witnesses provided signed affidavits affirming that they had seen a videotape depicting the girls being assaulted. One witness described a young girl with dirty blonde hair tied by her wrists and kneeling, being subjected to assault in a house with a distinctive rock wall that he recognized as belonging to Chadwick. This witness claimed that when he later saw a television report about the missing girls, he recognized Loria Bible as the girl in the video. Other sources suggest that the girls may have been kept alive for up to a week following their abduction, and in the video, they were bound together and appeared malnourished. In 2001, authorities conducted searches of the Chadwick and Glover properties, uncovering VHS tapes, a roll of film, bloodstains, carpet samples, and evidence of a meth lab. However, nothing related to Loria and Ashley was found, and the bloodstains were determined to be non-human. In 2002, a Texas inmate sent a letter from death row to a newspaper, confessing to the murders of the girls. Tommy Lynn Sells, a notorious railway serial killer, had previously killed a 13-year-old girl in Del Rio, Texas, which was an 11-hour drive from Welch. However, when Sells was taken back to Oklahoma to locate the girls' bodies, it turned out he was lying and nothing was found. As the investigation progressed, 2 additional suspects were added to the list, namely Tommy Lynn Sells and Jeremy Jones. Both confessed to committing murders, but not of Ashley and Loria. These confessions were related to other unrelated killings, leading to their eventual exclusion as suspects. A breakthrough in the case occurred when investigators discovered a box of documents, which led them to an overlooked clue, an insurance verification card found by a private investigator named Tom Pryor. Pryor found the card in the Freeman's driveway shortly after the murders and traced it back to a woman living with a local drug dealer named Phil Welch. Pryor also found girls' clothing and rental receipts for a mobile home where Welch resided. Despite informing investigators about the card, it was not taken as evidence at the time. Instead, Pryor held on to it for nearly 2 decades, hoping for a breakthrough. Eventually, Gary Stansel from the District 12 District Attorney's Office and Tammy Ferrari from the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation approached Pryor. This encounter was seen as a miracle. The investigators alleged that Welch, along with David Pennington and Ronnie Busick, murdered Ashley's parents due to a drug debt and subsequently kidnapped the teenagers, ultimately leading to their deaths. It is believed that Welch, Pennington, and Busick went to the property on the night in question to confront Danny Freeman about the debt. Welch concealed a loaded shotgun beneath his trench coat, while Freeman had a loaded .357 caliber Magnum revolver resting on the table. Tragically, during their encounter, Freeman reached for his revolver and was fatally shot by Welch. Subsequently, Welch proceeded to the bedroom where he shot Kathy Freeman before moving her husband's lifeless body into the same room. Meanwhile, upon hearing the gunshots, the girls managed to escape through a back door and sought refuge in an open field, remaining hidden on the ground. The 3 individuals proceeded to ransack the house, stealing money and marijuana before setting fire to the mobile home. As the flames engulfed the residence, the girls cautiously rose to their feet, only to be spotted, pursued, and ultimately captured by the 3 men. The girls were then transported in Pennington's truck along rural dirt roads, covering a distance of 40 kilometers, until they reached Welch's mobile home in Pitcher. Once there, the girls were bound, and their mouths were stuffed with socks before being injected with methamphetamine by Welch. Among the 3 men involved, only Busick remains alive, vehemently denying any involvement in the girls' abductions and murders. In the summer of 2020, Busick pleaded guilty to being an accessory to the murders of Kathy and Danny. Although the whereabouts of the missing teenagers still elude investigators, despite numerous attempts to locate their remains in mine shafts and crude cellars. Stansel, however, continues to hold on to hope that the girls' remains will eventually be discovered, providing closure for their grieving families. I simply cannot fathom that after coming this far, God would lead me to a dead end, expressed Stansel. Ronnie Busick, charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, struck a deal and pleaded guilty to withholding information related to the case, as well as being an accessory to first-degree murder. He received a 10-year prison sentence, along with 5 years of probation. The possibility of his release hinges on whether he assists the police in locating the girls' bodies.